Hi, my name is Dr. Jane Kimemia. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Optiva Capital Partners. I will start by introducing who we are. And if you can't hear me, please just raise your hand. We're gonna see you. So I'm assuming that everybody can clearly hear me. So let me start by introducing who we are as Optiva Capital Partners. And I'm sure you're here because you've already had an interaction with us personally, through any one of our relationship managers, or you have had different interactions with us, whether it's through our outdoor advertising. But thank you for making time to be with us this afternoon. So Optiva Capital Partners, we are a wealth management and wealth retention company, and our specialization is in 4 areas. Our specialization and focus is in 4 areas. One is investment immigration, where simply put, we work with our clients on their acquisition or their needs for second citizenship or permanent residency. We deal with a wide range of jurisdictions. We are the market leaders in Nigeria and actually across Africa in investment immigration. So we've got a wide range of jurisdictions or countries that we deal with, of programs, both in citizenship by investment, and I will explain that, or residency by investment. So for your family's global access, global citizenship needs, that we are the go-to people with years of experience. So under investment immigration, we've got 2 subsets of what we do. That is, one is residency by investment, and these are programs for countries in the Core West, where basically, irrespective of how much you would be investing, you would need to do residency. There's residency requirements that would need to be fulfilled for you to get into the full citizenship of those particular countries. Here we are talking about the Core West, so we are talking about the US, Europe, Canada. So that is residency by investment. And number 2, we have the citizenship by investment programs, primarily looking at countries in the Caribbean, where by your investment, you would be able to get outright citizenship without the requirement for residency. So I'm still defining who we are and our areas of specialization and focus. And one is investment immigration, residency by investment programs, or citizenship by investment programs, depending on what your needs are. Then we go on to number 2 in terms of our areas of specialization and focus is investment services and advisory, where simply put, we are a bridge to investment opportunities for you, for our clients, investment opportunities, and looking at the global perspective of how do we work with you in line with our investment philosophy to help you protect your wealth. And this is a recognition of the macroeconomic conditions that all of us are we are in Nigeria. So the reality of our various situations in terms of the macroeconomic situation, currency devaluation, inflation, which obviously has a very big impact on family savings, on family wealth. So under the investment services and advisory part of our business is really working with you to protect, to grow, to enhance your wealth. I'm still on the definition, so allow me to go on to number 3 in terms of our areas of specialization and focus is the international real estate space. And at the same time, so Optiva Capital Partners is bringing you opportunities to expand or diversify. Real estate is one of the most important asset classes when it comes to investments. So when it comes to real estate, obviously a lot of our clients, all of us involved, then primarily where you start is where you are in the Nigerian space in terms of investment. But as you grow, we are looking at how do you leverage on the global real estate opportunity. And what we do at Optiva Capital Partners is being able to facilitate that for you. taking advantage of some of the world's fastest growing markets, most stable markets when it comes to return on investment on your real estate assets, and very importantly, the valuation or the growth, or basically the appreciation of what you would have in your portfolio on real estate assets. So still in our definition, our area of specialization number 4 is insurance. Insurance is simply being able to protect your wealth, whether it is physical assets or life, whether you're looking at life insurance or general insurance, so that in case anything happens that is unforeseen, then you're reinstated to your original place or where you were. So Optiva Capital Partners, those are 4 areas of specialization: investments, immigration, investment services and advisory, international real estate, and number 4, insurance. So I know we continue to welcome people. We are still doing the introduction of who we are at Optiva Capital Partners. And now I will take the opportunity also to introduce myself. Dr. Jane Kimemia, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Optiva Capital Partners. My specialization and focus for over 27 years is in the financial services industry. Been at Optiva Capital Partners for 7 years, and prior to that, worked with 2 international banks for a combination of 20 years. So what I'm doing now is what I've done all my life, working with clients, thousands of families, on their plans when it comes to retention of their wealth across generations, when it comes to their needs for global access, when it comes for their needs for global citizenship. Optiva Capital Partners, not only we are supported by a wide network of international partners, and both from our top management in terms of the executive team, from our chairman, the board, the directors, we have years of combined experience to be able to serve your needs for global access or citizenship and wealth retention. So if there are any question in between, I know when it comes to issues finance, as much as we have in this education series, is that we do recognize that a lot of the consultations are going to be personal. So this becomes just a forum for us to share a lot of the key framework or aspects of what we offer. But in terms of personal consultations, we've got the teams. Some of our people are actually on the call and will be able to reach out. I'm going to mention the names, then you're going to reach out and have the personal consultation. So as I come to the end of our definition, simply put, Optiva Capital Partners, we are here to serve. We are a service organization, one client at a time, one family at a time. And the sole reason why we exist is to serve the needs of our clients and your families for global access. Global access, that means trade, it means children's education, it means healthcare, it means ease to do business, it means expanding your scope. And number 2, we are here to serve your needs for wealth retention. So I will get on to the next part of our presentation, which is going to take 10-15 minutes. And I expect that part of what I'm going to be sharing with you is really just asking you questions that will get you into reflecting about your own particular situation and realizing what is it that we can actually do together. So we are not talking about products. We are not talking about any solutions as yet. We are at the concept level where we want to agree and see all the various situations that we are all in, and then assessing your own particular situation as a family to be able to make the decisions on how can we partner together. Because what we want to be in your case is to be your trusted partner, to be your trusted advisor when it comes to our areas of specialization. So on to my next part of my presentation. So we are talking about 2 aspects that are important to every family, and I believe because when you're looking at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, why do we go to work every single day? So you will hear us talking a lot about wealth retention and global citizenship. And these are the two things that we are going to be focusing on today. So when it comes to the wealth series or the education series on wealth retention, I just want to pose a question. What does wealth retention mean to you? Well, what does wealth retention mean to you individually? We've got our billboards, our outdoor advertising. There's a lot of focus. You will see wealth retention. Now, take a step back. But for us to be able to be talking about wealth retention is how intentional have you been, or do you continue to be, to build that wealth, to build the savings and investments, to be able then to be talking about wealth retention. You know, there are some interesting statistics across Africa, not only in the Nigerian case, but they actually say 70% of wealth gets lost between one generation to the next. And by the third generation, wealthy families that would have built wealth, by the third generation, 90% of the wealth is lost. So that means that a lot of times in the African context, this is where we are always starting again. So how do we resolve this issue and build wealth that lasts generations? Build financial structures that will be able to safeguard your wealth and be able to pass that on in terms of legacy, because that is important. So when it comes, 70% of wealth gets lost from one generation, first to second, and 90% by the third. They actually say that only 2% of wealth actually passes on successively from one generation to the next. And what is the reason for these? Is because across Africa, different statistics show, or different reports, that only 1% of wealth is professionally managed. So when we are talking about wealth education series, it's really about what our part at Optiva Capital Partners is and will continue to be in really promoting the financial welfare and well-being of families now and into the future. So I am back to the question of wealth retention. So what we've come up with at Optiva Capital Partners is a very comprehensive framework to be able to address the question of building your wealth in a very structured way. A lot of you, you're our clients, I'm sure you've already embarked on this. You know, I always give this example that all of us, what we are looking for, first of all, that's why we go to work every single day. You have people coming into the island, going into wherever we are going, all of us. The first thing we are looking for, which is the part of our 4 pillars of building lasting wealth. 4 pillars of building lasting wealth or enduring wealth, then we can talk about retention. So I will now be focusing on the 4 pillars. I've talked about wealth retention. That is the ultimate goal. But before we talk about wealth retention, what are the 4 pillars of Optiva Capital Partners family financial tree, as we will call it? And this is a new model that we have introduced. The 4 pillars of the family financial tree. And I'll ask you a number of questions so that you can start thinking about it. So the first pillar towards building a wealth, a legacy, a wealth that endures, a wealth that actually stands the test of time. The first pillar is actually financial security. On a scale of 1 to 10, how financially secure would you say you are? The measure of financial security is obviously your ability to meet your needs, the basic needs, and to note that the needs of families or individuals change over time. So the fact that I'm able to meet our needs today, it evolves across different life stages. So when we talk about the first pillar of financial security, even before you do your own individual consultation with us, I want you to ask yourself that question. Over the period of time, how financially secure have you continued to be? And this is my job, my business, and I'm able to meet my family needs, whether it is roof over my head and children's education, healthcare, food, the basics. But very importantly, what am I able to set aside on a consistent basis? What is my savings plan? What is my savings philosophy? And have I been disciplined as far as that is concerned? And whether you're 27, you're 37, you're 47, you're 57, or 67, there's always, what am I doing right now? And obviously, the earlier the better, because when people are younger, then you've got the benefit of time. But wherever we are, we can start. So I want to ask you that question, that on a scale of 1 to 10, how financially secure would you say you are, and that you will continue to be, not just the ability to meet your needs now, into the future? Should anything happen, unfortunately, to your business or your place of employment, would you be able to sustain the same level and standard of living? How long would you be able to sustain that? That is question number one. What are you able then to set aside on a consistent basis in terms of intentional and disciplined savings? So that is the base of financial stability, and that is the roots of what you would call a financial tree, because you're saying that my base is secure. I'm able to meet my needs now and into the future. And very importantly, I'm able to set money aside, basically your disposable income that is into acquisition of investment, whether it is financial investments, whether it is citizenship, alternative citizenships, which are investments that give you global access. What I'm able to set aside and what I'm able to put into savings. And that is the base of financial security, first of all. Protection, how well is this base protected? So just a question that I want to put to each and every one of us on this call. How financially secure are you now and into the future, as the needs of you and your family continue to evolve over time? Because what you do in your 30s is going to be different from the needs in your late 30s, into your 40s, and so on. Then we come to the second pillar, which is financial stability. So once you have the security, you have the base. And I will quote Robert Kiyosaki. He says, it's not just about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. So before I even finish that, it is the first one is how much are you keeping and how are you keeping it? It's not just about how much money you make, it's how much you keep, how hard your money works for you, and for how many generations you keep it for. So I am coming to the second pillar. So the first pillar of financial stability is how much money you keep after meeting your needs. We go to the second pillar of building lasting wealth, which is stability, financial stability. So the assumption is I've been able to put together on a consistent basis my base, which is basically my savings or my real estate investments that should be turning into wealth. So let's come to financial stability. Robert Kiyosaki on how hard your money works for you. And this is what Optiva Capital Partners will be working with on answering the question of how hard your money works for you. So under this pillar, we basically have our investment philosophy. So we are working with you on protecting your wealth under financial stability. That's making sure that a significant proportion of your wealth is actually safeguarded against the vagaries of inflation that we will all suffer or experience, against devaluation in value of the wealth that you're sitting on, which is very important to all of us, because naturally most of the families, your aspirations, family plans, a lot of times for a lot of Nigerian families, your plans are in dollars. Your aspirations for your children's education, for global access. So Under the financial stability pillar, how well protected is your base? How safe have you safeguarded your investments? Number two, how hard is your money working for you? What is a return on investment on basically on your wealth? Are you well optimized, or do you have just deposits sitting in the bank that continue to lose their value over time because you have not been intentional in deploying your wealth into assets that are going to give you an optimal return on investment? So it's very important to make sure that your money is working for you. That's the question. Is your money working for you? Then we go to, that is basically growth. We have opportunities for different global investments. Under our investments immigration, you would be investing in assets, you would be investing in designated investments by those various governments, and that is part of your growth allocation of your funds or your savings. And diversification as well, that is enhancing. Are your eggs all in one basket? Are your investments in one location or one geography, or do you have investments across various geographies, in various currency, in different sectors? And that's a question that we will continue to work with you at Optiva Capital Partners to ensure that you're well diversified, that your wealth is well diversified in asset class, in geography, different jurisdictions, so that should anything happen, then basically you're not subject to the ups and downs that obviously if that happens in one geography. So I'm talking about financial stability, and the words I would want you to remember even as you think about your own particular case is, under financial stability, how safeguarded is my wealth? Number two, what am I getting in terms of return on investment?
Recording stopped.
Is my wealth giving me the optimal return on investment? And number three, am I diversified? Because it doesn't matter how strong a basket is, not to put all your eggs in that one basket. I will go on to the pillar number three in terms of building a lasting legacy or wealth that will outlive across generations. Number three is financial independence. That once you've been able to establish security, stability, then you can clearly speak about, I am financially independent. What does financial independence mean? And I want you to think about a tree, the roots of a tree, the trunk of a tree, which is a stability. If the roots are deep, it doesn't matter how strong the wind is. Then now, in terms of financial independence, think about it in terms of the branches of your financial tree. The branches of a tree are independent. They're almost like trees on their own. And if you cut one particular branch, the tree continues to live. So my question is, how financially independent is your plan? Should anything happen to any one investment? So here we are talking about well-diversified wealth that is allocated into geographies, into different currencies that continue to give you a return on investment. And that means that when you're talking about financial independence, then basically it's multiple sources of basically multiple income streams that you have built over time. And should anything happen to any one of them, it does not affect your overall financial well-being. So that is financial independence. And question still, what is it? What have you done? Have you done enough? What more can you do? Because there's always room to do more. With everything that you've worked so hard for, is it really working for you as hard as it should? Is it diversified? Have you been able to build multiple sources of income? Yeah, to be able to support your family's aspirations, whether it is going to school abroad, maybe they're already there, but you're not converting your earnings, you already have built your dollar flows to be able to support your family's needs and aspirations. I am still on number three, which is financial independence. And finally, the fourth pillar of the framework when it comes to building lasting wealth is financial sustainability. So when you talk about financial sustainability, is wealth that creates itself. I was joking the other day, they say money doesn't grow on trees, but money can grow on trees. It can. When you've done the right things consistently. You're talking about then the roots are secure, the trunk is strong, the branches are independent, there are different streams of income that are then producing the interest, the results you need, and that means that there's sustainability, and those are the fruits. So back to my question of how much, what have you done with what you've got? Have you done enough? So those are the 4 pillars in terms of our education series that I would, put it to you to start considering how well have I done on a scale of 1 to 10. What more can I do? What conversations can I have to safeguard our position as a family, our aspirations as we continue to grow, to aspire for more, and to build that discipline in the families and actually across generations? Because once you do it, then we can talk about wealth that is going to last generations, because then it's a discipline that continues to outlive itself. So we've got our teams and we've got our, how do we start from where you are? What are your needs as a family, as an individual? And how do we start to make an assessment? I've been asking that question over and over again. Once you make your own individual assessment, that we'd like to, we will help you, we will walk with you through this in terms of then assessing where you are and being very, I've done very well, fantastic. I could do better, I've done well, but I can actually do better. But being very intentional. And that's the first step for us in terms of assessing what your needs are from a wealth retention perspective, from a global access or global citizenship, making sure you're settling yourself, you're settling your family, that you're taking advantage and leveraging of all the opportunities that would be available to you, both as a citizen in Nigeria, but actually a global citizen, that you and your family are taking advantage of that. So in terms of what our steps are, first is to be able to sit with you and assess where you are very truthfully. What can you do better? What have you done fantastic? Number 2, we will work with you as, I'm sure you've already defined your goals, but sometimes it helps to sit with an expert to refine further your goals individually or as a family, and state that, what do we need to achieve? Number 3, so we will define your investment goals or work in refining that further and writing it up down plainly. Number 3, we decide what you want to do. Basically, what is your profile? What are you looking at? Are you, when it comes to both the wealth retention agenda or when it comes to the global access agenda, what are your needs? Is it immigration? Is it global access when it comes to, so make sure that we understand that. And then basically then our teams will be able to work with you on recommending the right solutions. When it comes to investments, it's choosing the right investments. In what jurisdictions, in what sectors, over what period of time, what is a return on investment, what is your expectation? So being very clear to define that and work with you to make sure that we have, that the recommendation in terms of our plans fulfill what your needs are. And then over time we will continue to reassess that, because you're going to be your trusted advisor, your trusted partner, being able to check against those plans. Are we continuing on the path to be able to achieve the goals? And should we need to make any changes as you grow? You're investing more, you have more access to, as the needs for your family grows, what do we need to readjust in terms of your plan, both for global access and for wealth retention? What do we need to do? So we are working with you as your relationship team to be able to say we are on track, or there's a family situation or a family, there are key events. There are always key events in families that probably will change the trajectory of what you're thinking about. You were thinking about global access initially, and sometimes people are thinking about immigration, that there would be, so it depends. And then what are your plans when it comes to your wealth? So our team of experts will be able then to lead you onto the right recommendations, and then continue to reassess the portfolio, your plans, and seeing that they are fit for purpose. So that comes, yes, I wanted to end this at 12:35, but we started a little late. That is the first part of my presentation. I know there may not be questions directly, because when it comes to financial matters, it is individual. What I would like to encourage you to do, that there's a form. If there's any question, I'm happy to take any question. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. But if you would, because what we'd like to do is to have individual consultation with you. There's a form that we will circulate, just to tell us what specific areas you would like us to start discussions on, and your relationship managers are going to be in touch with you to ensure that we start the conversations on what your needs are, on the aspirations, and how we as Optiva Capital Partners will play a significant part in that plan as your trusted partner and your trusted advisor. Because I'm back to our definition, we are here to serve. We're here to serve your needs for global access, for global citizenship. We are here to serve your needs for wealth retention. Thank you very much for your time. I'm aware it's a work day and people have taken time off. So unless there are any questions, we've got the teams. Bukola, are you on the call?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then the rest of the team, we've got our engagement, our senior engagement managers. We actually have our executive director on the call. Amaka, you're on the call? Oh, that's somebody else. Okay, I think but Amara, you're on the call?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So Amara is head of engagement. So when it comes to all the conversations to have, good afternoon, Amara. Yes, she's actually head of the team. So feel free to reach out to any one of us. Bukola, I think she circulated the forms. I also would like to acknowledge our head of corporate communications. Mr. Nduneche is on the call. Andy, can you hear me?
Very, very much. Thank you very much for sharing the knowledge. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andy. And then we've got the rest of the bigger team from Optiva Capital Partners across all the locations, from Enugu, upcountry, we've got the Abuja teams, and we've got the Lagos team. So if there is no further question, I will bring this webinar to a close. But in terms of what to expect next, we will continue the series. We will continue the individual consultations. We are going to continue to get experts coming in when now we start to talk about solutions. But you do want to have a webinar when we talk about specific solutions, because when we say we are a service organization, your needs as a family, what we're able to create is bespoke solutions, that your needs are different from the next family. So we'll be able to actually create the solutions that address your specific needs. So that's why we are talking about individual consultation. So we are going to continue to have webinars in our education series, and then that actually go into the personal consultations. So on behalf of the chairman, Optiva Capital Partners, the board, and all of us in senior leadership, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and I look forward to engaging with you further in the coming weeks. Thank you very much, everybody.